Great day, and welcome to the Breathe Self-Leadership Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Obioma Martin, the Midwife to Millionaire CEOs. This is the place where wisdom meets strategy. Now, we are continuing our foundation from Proverbs, and today I want to go a little bit deeper, not louder, because self-leadership does not begin with discipline, productivity, or results. It begins with reverence. Proverbs 1:7 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge." That means before strategy, before execution, before expansion, there is posture. Most people don't fail because they lack vision. They fail because they bypass reverence. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that they move too fast, they execute too quickly, they make decisions based on urgency, pressure, opportunity, and emotions, but they have not governed themselves first. As a midwife, I understand this. What you rush, you risk. And I know that all too well. And what I've come to share with you is the importance of pausing and checking in with yourself, allowing the data to guide you instead of your emotions. Many leaders are carrying something too precious, like a vision, a dream, to be mishandled. I want you to think about that. Most leaders are carrying something too precious. When I think about a baby is very precious, and you don't want to mishandle that baby. Whether you are a mother or a father, that baby is precious to you, and you don't want to mishandle that. The same thing is true for your dream. The same thing is true for your vision. The same thing is true for your business. Reverence is not fear that shrinks you. It is an awareness that centers you. It is the ability to say, I do not move simply because I can. I move because I am aligned. I like to say it this way. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Now, for those of you who are note takers, I like to say it this way. Note takers are money makers, right? But I want to give you some nuggets. So I'm going to invite you to grab a pen and a paper so you can begin to take some notes and kind of meditate on what I'm about to share. Leadership truth number 1. Reverence establishes internal order. The fear of the Lord means you recognize there is a higher authority than your ambition. Self-leadership starts with ego no longer driving decisions. I want to say that again. Self-leadership starts when ego no longer drives decisions. Speed no longer replaces clarity, and results no longer overrides values. What that simply means is that you're good within. You are good within. You're not shaken. You're not easily moved. You're not anxious. You are grounded, and all of your internal sensors are anchored. Leadership truth 2. Self-leadership requires submission before strategy. Many leaders want power without posture. What I come to understand and know is this: instruction is not limitation, it is protection. If you despise instruction, Proverbs doesn't call you unprepared, it calls you foolish. And none of us have time for foolish leadership. So think about that. Think about a time when you did not heed to instruction and you made a decision that came back to bite you. Or you made a decision based on information or a snapshot of information, and then you had to go back and apologize. Leadership 3. Reverence slows down long enough to choose wisely. Wisdom rarely rushes. Foolishness always does. Self-leadership looks like pausing before responding, seeking counsel before deciding, and choosing restraint over reaction. Now, that's a big one. I work with a lot of leaders. I work with a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs who are over 50 to 100 staff. And one of the things that I can tell you for my fellow high earning, high achieving women is that when we don't check in with ourselves, when we don't check in with our own emotions and we respond out of reaction or information that was a snapshot and what somebody said without taking the opportunity to look at the data, we do ourselves, our staff, our clients, our customers, whoever we serve, a disservice. Now, I want you to think about this. When we take the opportunity to pause, it also allows us to release. So the principle that I really want to make here is the principle that is in my Breathe framework, and that is release. Focus on releasing what doesn't serve you. Release the belief that self-leadership means self-reliance. You are not alone. You are not divine. You are not anyone's savior. Release control and release self-reliance. You do not have to do all that you do by yourself. I don't believe that God created us to be in isolation. I believe that He created us to be in community. So true self-leadership releases control, ego, and the need to prove and defend. And it replaces with alignment, instruction, and wisdom. See, what I come to understand is that we cannot govern ourselves when we refuse to be governed by truth. Think about that. We cannot govern ourselves when we refuse to be governed by truth. What do I mean by that? Numbers don't lie. Numbers tell a story. So we need to be still enough so that we can look at the whole picture and not just a piece of the picture. Now, here's your leadership assignment for this week. Before you make yourself or before you make your next significant decision, I am inviting you to pause and ask yourself this question. Am I responding to pressure or moving from reverence? Am I responding to pressure or moving from reverence? Next week, we're going to talk about guarding our heart because self-leadership collapses when the heart is unmanaged. This has been your self-leadership moment with your host, Dr. Obioma Martin. Remember, wisdom builds what motivation cannot. Till next time. Hi, I'm Dr. Obioma Martin, and I want to invite you to something truly amazing, the Believe Bigger 8-week group coaching program. I created this program for women who may not necessarily have the resources to work with me individually in executive coaching. However, you still deserve a space to grow, learn, and scale together. And this is why I created this space for us to come together for 8 weeks. We meet once a week online, and in that time, we focus on mindset mastery, discovering your purpose, stepping into your power, and showing up with presence as women leaders, CEOs, and mothers. The truth is, no matter your industry, we all face challenges that can feel isolating. But when we come together, we realize we're not alone. And it becomes crystal clear that it is okay to dream bigger and to believe bigger and to do it in a community that truly sees you. If you're ready to step into a space where your growth is nurtured and your journey is celebrated, join us today. Visit obioma.org and let's believe bigger together.